Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to be building a custom train station that's going to be built into this section of the raised platform. So this is going to service the raised platform, of course, and just this area over here, along with the zoo. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I guess we're going to figure it out in this video here today. So I have this huge section of the platform. So it's actually from here all the way to there. So it's 64 studs or 2 base plates. And I think that's going to be the perfect spot to put this raised train station. So it's actually going to be fairly easy for me to extract this. Just have to take up this cheese wedge here. Also these tiles. And then I can disconnect this train track. Just from there. And then just disconnect it on this side as well. And now this whole tunnel, once I disconnect the lower train track, should just pop out fairly easily. Let's verify that everything's disconnected here. And away we go with that. So this section is going to become a train station. So I actually modified all the platform coverings the other day by adding these masonry bricks and tiles, and then also 5 studs of green on top. And they sit on 16 by 32 base plates. So this one's actually 16 by 64 because it's 2 of those base plates. I'm thinking in order to make the right size train station here, I'm going to have to change this entire thing so it sits on a 32 by 64 base plate. So rather than 16 studs of depth, I think it has to be 32, which is an entire base plate. So the first thing I did was structure my new double base plate and essentially just replicated that. So we've got the spot for the tunnel there, and I just mill splitted it using the 2x bricks and also some 4x6 dark gray plate. Now this train actually starts to curve through the tunnel. That's why there's a notch here. I just don't want the train to derail while it's going through this tunnel. I need to leave space for the nose of the train. So now that I've got my base plate constructed, I've got to start coming up with the basic layout. There's going to have to be a staircase, maybe an elevator. The train station is actually going to be like inset into the platform covering. That's why I added those additional 16 studs. Yeah, so I'm going to try and map that out, I guess. I'll probably just start by like transferring my tunnel over. Maybe I'll just transfer the entire thing over here and start mapping it out. Because obviously there's going to have to be some major changes. We have to have the door for the staircase, and also there has to be a train station. So yeah, some major modifications have to be made to this platform covering, obviously. Yeah, so I guess I'll just try and sit down and figure it out. And that's part of the reason why I'm not time-lapsing this style of stuff, is because I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So it's a lot of trial and error, and I don't really want to capture that on time-lapse. Okay, so this side here is actually going to be behind the apple tree house, whereas the other side, which is left of the tunnel and beside the waterfall, is fairly open. So I've decided to leave this as my open spot, and this is where minifigures are going to be able to walk in and take the stairs and elevator up to the train station floor. It's very colorful. I'm going to leave it that way. No, I'm just kidding. This is my support structure. So I started building it using gray brick, similar to the tunnel walls, which are all light gray brick. And then I was like, man, that is a waste of light gray brick. So I decided to build it using colorful brick. You'll see that this pillar right here is actually 3 studs wide. Well, that's because it has an interior wall which has design with the masonry bricks and then just other light gray brick. I'm going to carry this wall all the way around and sort of wrap it around, and that's going to hide all of these colorful bricks. But I wanted it to be a really strong structure, so when I put the actual platform in, it's going to be nice and solid, and there's lots of studs that the plates can adapt to. I also made this wall right here the same height as the tunnel, because the train station is actually going to go from here all the way to the back here where I have this column of 2x6 bricks, and it's going to span the entire 64 stud distance. Now you'll see this random 2x6 brick right there. Well, that's actually where my stairs are going to start. They have to go up 14 bricks, so it's a huge staircase. I'm going to build it right into the wall, and it's actually going to wrap around the corner and then pop up right here. But that's how much space it needs to go up 14 bricks. So like I keep saying, everybody, it's a trial and error process. I just realized that I made a mistake. The other platform coverings are inset. this many studs. So this colorful wall is going to be exposed there. I didn't need to pull this so far forward. So just like that, I've already got to destroy like a big portion of this wall, because the entrance actually doesn't have to start till like back here. So I've actually pulled this way too far forward. Like I said, trial and error. It's all part of the process. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to go grab one of those and put it next to it so I can actually visualize what it's going to look like, because it's hard to visualize what it looks like over there when you're working over here. So if I grab one of them, put it next to it, I'll be able to map it out a little bit easier. But hey, it didn't take me long to lay those bricks, and guess what? It's not going to take me long to demolish them either. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if I built this entire thing and then I placed it in the Lego City and I was like, oh yeah, there's a colorful wall there popping up. That's contemporary art, don't worry. Like, you can see it. It matches the pillar, right? Yeah, that's why I did that, to match the pillar. I swear, it was all part of the plan. No, it's definitely not going to look like that. There we go. I think that looks a lot better. It's nicely lined up there. I'll create some sort of barricade here, but then people who are entering the train station can actually see this beautiful waterfall, but they might get a mist. They might get a mist of the waterfall, right? I've also created my interior wall using light gray brick and also those masons. It looks pretty awesome. I've put in an elevator there. I'm not going to build an actual elevator this time. I don't know. I'm going to do it like the Daily Bugle. I need to find some 2x6 tiles so I don't have to put the plate underneath. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do it like the Bugle. It is what it is. I also have my staircase built into the interior wall. So all of these 2x6 bricks are held in just by the interior wall there. I haven't locked them in place yet. And how am I going to do that? I'm just going to, well, build my interior wall so it goes on top and interlock everything. And then there's still going to be 5 studs there, 1 for a handrail and then 4 for minifigures to walk up the stairs. The reason I'm not going to lock it in place is because I still need to do all my tile work in here, and if those are all locked in place, it's going to be awfully hard to do that. But yeah, they're all just sort of chilling there. As you can see, that's the structure for my stairs. I got to take them all off to do my tile work. That's what I'll be doing next. But yeah, it just sort of goes up. And then there's a flat spot there, and there'll be a flat spot up top, which is like the stair landing. And then the elevator is going to be right here on top of the stair landing. And then this whole thing is going to be a train station. So I like the fact that I've kept my staircase and elevator access in the corner over here, because it's not going to interfere with anything over there. Whereas my other train station, the elevator is over here. It takes up a bunch of floor space, and then the staircase is over here, and that takes up some more floor space. So I'm glad I was able to condense it into the one corner there. Just after filming the previous clip, I noticed that my mid staircase landing was a little bit too large, so I actually decreased the size of it, and that pulled this back. So now there's actually a larger spot up top here for the final landing of the staircase, which is way better. And I also recapped this in light gray, and that makes it look a lot better, doesn't it? Now almost all of the color is gone. Now the wall that supports the staircase is fully constructed, and that locked all the stairs in place. I also added some of the curved slopes there, the 1x3 dark grays, as a handrail on the left-hand side of the staircase, and I tiled off the floor there, so it matches the other train station. It has the light gray 2x2 tiles, and those are surrounded by the sand blue 1x1 tiles, and then I added my spare Daily Bugle newsstand back there in the corner. Now way in the back there, the back row of tiles is actually great elements, and that's going to serve as a floor drain for when it rains. So there's the train track back in spot, and now I'm ready to start constructing the actual platform for the train station, so where minifigs will actually be able to board the train station. I think it needs to come up another brick, so what I'm going to do is probably create an entire layer of plate, then put bricks down, and then put another plate on top of that. So it's like a Mills plate almost, and it's going to sit on here, and I'll also have a large support back there. Switched it up for these tan ones just because I'm not using those right now. And it's going to be the entire plate. It's going to be 64 studs wide, and it's going to go the full depth of the available space. So this thing was a doozy to make. It took a lot of parts, and I sort of made it harder than it needed to be because I wanted to add some more detail to it. And also, it's sort of a strange size. You can see there's some 1x plate in there, and just to get the staircase hole properly aligned was rather difficult. I wasn't able to use all 16x16s. I had to use some 8x8s and some 4x6s and 6x8s and all sorts of weird plates to make it work. The back is colorful because that's going to be underneath the raised platform. I decided to make the sides light gray just because, and this is the extra detail that I decided to add. Now this isn't a standard Mills plate, it's actually one brick and one plate higher. So then I was able to put the underlying tile there and also some snot bricks on the front of it and put like that same tile design that you'll see on this train station, except we did it with 2x2. But I decided to do it with 1x1, 1x tile here, 1x8s on the snot bricks, and then some more 1x8 tiles underneath those. Just gives it a nice polished look, and I think that's just going to look a little bit better when you're looking at the train station from this perspective. And this massive plate is going to sit on here like that. And there's that tile. Now you can just see that little bit of detail. And I just think it adds like a nice aesthetic to it, right? And that's going to line up nicely with the staircase here. There is going to be an additional stair there that I have to put in. So there's some 1x6 brick there. And then, yeah, it looks pretty good, right? I'm going to get this fully tiled off. And then I also have to construct the side walls and the back wall. And that's actually going to go underneath the raised platform. Like this is all going to be underneath the platform. So what I'm going to do is not jumper this thing in spot. Like I was thinking maybe I should put like jumpers or just a few studs and some tiles so that this is removable. But does it really have to be removable? I don't think so. I think that's just a waste of pieces. How many times am I actually going to physically remove that? And if I do have to remove it, then I'll just pry it off, right? So I'm actually going to tack this down, just push it down, and all of those studs are going to sort of grab onto it. And then we're going to place it, make sure it actually fits before I tile this off and add all the details and also the 3 walls framing it. Immediately after tacking it down, it's like, ooh, maybe I should have tiled off these stairs. I guess I can just reach my hands in there and do it. But what do you think? Should the stairs be tiled off or should they just be left with studs? Maybe it's good to have some studs in the build. But then when you look from up here, it's like, maybe they should be tiled off. But I guess this entire surface is going to be tiled off anyway. Now, for the first time in forever, I'm actually really lucky in regards to the table leg placement. They're not going to be in the way of the train station, so thank goodness. I'm sort of sad. Like, it's a cool concept, but I'm sort of sad. Let me show you what I mean. I just thought that there was going to be more height to work with. And they're just plain and simple isn't that much height. And I'm not able to do anything about that because I can't lower my entire raised train line. That would be crazy just to get more space on this station. At least these studs up front here are very visible, but the ones in the back, not really. And at least you can fit a minifigure in there. Even when we put the tiles down, you're going to be able to fit a minifigure in there. But it just sort of makes me sad. I wish there was, you know, another 5-6 bricks of clearance, like, so I can actually add some detail in there that can be seen. I'm still going to be able to add benches. It'll still look neat. Just not as much as I originally thought I would be able to. But at least minifigures will still be able to board the train, and it's still a train station. Just the visibility of the details back here is not going to be very good. But it is what it is. At least the minifigures fit. So if we take a negative and we turn it into a positive, at least the minifigures fit. There's no way I can lower this. Like if I lower that one brick, it doesn't make sense. Train stations have to be one brick higher than the train, right? You don't want that at the same height just to get more clearance there. It is what it is. I'm going to make it work, but it sort of makes me sad. I thought there would be a little bit more. I guess I didn't really measure. I didn't like peel this off and take a look at it. But either way, I mean, it had to be done. I have to make a train station. So my hands are sort of tied. I just have to make this work, even though there's not a huge amount of height clearance there. I guess maybe I didn't have to make it the full 32 studs. Maybe I could have just stuck with the 16 studs. But then where would my staircase hole work? You know, like where would that pop up? I think it's better to have this added detail, right? The stairs there, and the fact that this is like a really deep entrance is pretty neat as well. It just sort of adds more detail to the whole idea and the whole project. So I'm happy with my decision of making it this size, but just the height is not there. It's sort of disappointing. But now it's going to be super easy to build those interior walls. It doesn't have to be very high at all. But you know what? From afar, it's going to look pretty neat, right? So that's actually pretty cool. You're going to be able to see the details from far away better than you are from close up. So I think I've come up with a pretty cool design. I didn't want to continue these same arches here just because it would make it too narrow. So I actually used the larger arches, and those are nicely distributed there. I still need to cover up the wood, so I can't have it wide open. I couldn't really span like a beam all the way across. And I think the arches add sort of like a really cool feel to it. And of course it matches the other platform coverings. So that looks pretty good. I also put the top back on for now. Now something I have to figure out is the staircase, because I want there to be a staircase leading up to the raised platform. That's the point of this train station. Well, one of the purposes of it, right? Now I can't put the staircase inside because my minifigures will hit their heads. And my minifigures barely fit in there, right? Because of the height. So I can't have the steps start inside. So rather the steps actually have to be outside. And what I think I'm going to do is actually modify the platform covering that's beside it. And these stairs will actually branch off of this and go up there. Because I was thinking about putting them in here, but then it just sort of takes away from the look of this train station. If I start having stairs start here and go up, then it just doesn't really look that good. So they're going to be integrated into the platform covering next to it, and then they're going to pop up here just because I can't put them inside. Hey, but I did add some nice arches inside as well, and I also finished up the walls on the left and right side and also behind. And the arches sort of match the platform coverings out here as well, so there's a lot of similarities between the platform coverings and this train station. And my elevator, well, it's short. It's 5 studs rather than 6 studs, and there's no room for the lights on top. But you know what? The thought is there. And I'm glad I didn't try to actually build an elevator, because there'd be no way to fit like a working elevator in here, and I wouldn't be able to operate it anyway. So that is just pointless to do in my opinion. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm actually liking it now. Obviously it's really gray right now, and I've got to add some of the colorful tile. So that's what I'm going to be working on next, is some of the interior details. And then I've got to give this staircase a little bit more thought, but I think that's the right idea, is having it built into this platform covering and going up here, and then people will just walk right up. Boop, 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 boop. And this half of this platform covering will be customized to accommodate a staircase. I also put some snot bricks here, and I'm hoping those can put some light on the platform. And they're also double-sided snot bricks, so I can put some light inside as well. Not actual light, just clear studs. Oh yeah, but when this thing was placed, what I did is I just took some blue bricks and some azure plate and a tile top, and that's my height. So that's the max height that I can go when it's underneath that wood, and that's what I've matched right there. So it should fit like exactly. It might even be a bit tight. I don't think it will be, but that's like an exact fit. So that's pretty clean, and this is my little measuring stick right there. It's Oilers game day. I started building this at 9. It's 5:30. The kids' bath time starts in half an hour. I've been down here building all day. It's taken me a long time to figure this out. And the Oilers play at 6:30. I might just watch the Oilers while building this, I think. So that sounds like a lot of fun to me. Yeah, still a lot of work to do there, though. You guys already figured out how to take apart your new toy. Didn't you, Millie? Are you guys going to have an early bath time so I can watch the game tonight? Goodness. That looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, it must be a ton of fun. You know what, everybody? Jose just informed me that she bought Nanaimo bars, ribs, and also my favorite chips, Bold Barbecue Doritos. And I want to go hang out with my kids because I've literally been down here all day. But look at this. I started doing some of the tiling. There's a bunch more stuff that we have to add. Electronic ticket stands, benches, railings going around here. That staircase. You got to finish off the tiling. Got to add lights, speakers, printed pieces, every detail that you would imagine and every detail that you see here as well. Newspaper stands, vending machines. And then we have to place it. And when I place it, I'm actually going to bring the farm forward and do a bunch of modifications there as well. There's going to be a nice path or a trail. And that trail is actually going to connect to the sidewalk over there so people can walk from the zoo to this train station or from the train station to the zoo. And I'm actually just going to slide this forward, one base plate, and then I'm going to be able to create a really nice area right here, which is going to give people a brilliant access to this train station, and it's going to match the nature sort of vibe of the raised platform
the zoo, the campground, the beach, the farm, and it's just going to pull this whole area together. So there's still so much more work that has to happen. It's game 3 against the Las Vegas Knights. My wife bought me Bold Barbecue Doritos. I'm going to go sit on the couch and watch that game. I'm sorry. I honestly had full intentions of just giving her all night, but there's still so much stuff that has to happen. There's no way I'm going to be able to get it all done tonight anyway. So, yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for now. I hope you enjoyed this vlog style building session of me building this new race train station that's integrated into the race platform. Off to a great start. Can't wait to finish it. Completely hyped on the Lego City right now. I love working on it every day. So thank you so much for coming on by. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.